Are you a FNAF fan? No, seriously, think about it. Were you really a day one? Were you in the trenches? Do you remember this? This, and all this, are relics of the Wild West of this silly, wacky, goofy fandom. Fragments of a more civilized age.
Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Not really. I hate to say it, but FNAF fans are dying out. You may be saying,
Five Nights at Freddy's is huge. Everyone in the preschool knows about Five Nights at Freddy's.
but those aren't real FNAF fans. Real FNAF fans are damn near in their 20s, and if any of you know these obscure corners of the FNAF fandom at the beginning of its creation, you're old as hell. Go get a job. Go get a degree and walk out of college owing $15K to the government. Don't you got taxes to do? The reason I call it the Wild West is because it's akin to the Wild West of the internet, where there were no rules, no order, and definitely no funny vines. February 2016 Vine compilation part 3 funniest vines. The same era happened with the FNAF fandom. There was no Rytos, Plain Trace, yeah, and certainly no MKG.
Yes! 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 Yes!
But you want to know what my favorite part was? There was no security breach. The lore was actually getting interesting, and not this convoluted mess that absolutely makes no sense at times. You know, first, what's the FNAF story?
Bruh.
Well, I just used up my last hot take pass.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Anyway, back in the Wild West, we thought Mike was the bite victim, and Phone Guy was Purple Guy, and Sparky the dog existed. William Afton, Michael Afton, Elizabeth Afton, babe, you're making no sense. Markiplier just posted his Five Nights at FNAF playthrough. There is no William Afton, this is Purple Guy, aka Vincent. What, you don't believe me? Look it up.
You know what? Let's do it together.
Told you. Vincent and all the other popular designs for the FNAF characters came from the artist Roebling. I don't know how or why, but the moment Roebling put pen to paper and made these designs, the fandom went wild. Before we knew what the characters looked like, these designs were damn near canon. This really initiated the boom of FNAF webcomic dubs. You'd be pressed to find any webcomic from 6 years ago that wasn't Roebling's rendition of the characters. A modern FNAF fan dub, 4.5K. Old FNAF fan dub, 1.5 million.
Five Nights at Freddy's Smart Edition. Come into the office the moment it's 12 AM using your SSM LG Pro 69 Sweatpants and teleportation powers.
Huh?
Smash through the window.
I'm fucked.
Keep banging until the power is out.
Huh?
Immediately sliding when you have the chance instead of standing and staring. Famous.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
As for what happened to these comics and the artists, well, they just kind of died out in popularity, especially since a lot of people in the FNAF scene no longer wanted to be a part of the fandom during the whole FNAF 3 era. That's kind of where the Wild West ended. FNAF 3 was where things became more tame, because at the time FNAF 3 seemed to mark the end of the franchise. Man, were we wrong. And also, it became kind of dull because it was so vastly different from the whole vibe of 1 and 2, there is no ammunition to work with. Maybe it was the FNAF fatigue of the 2 straight years of the non-stop FNAF craze, because when 3 dropped, it seemed like a step back for what could be created. As for Roebling, she just kind of went and did her own thing and took custody of Vincent and made him her own character for her webcomic. She didn't die or anything after the FNAF fame, she retained popularity because she had a distinct writing and drawing style that everyone loved. She literally was my favorite artist at one point, but eventually she disappeared because apparently she was me. I had a whole document about it I got from a Tumblr article, but it's gone. Let's just say Twitter got to her. Another artist that was making waves in the Wild West was Pole Bear. Huh? Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? Look at this. I'm not sure if this was the start of FNAF Humans, but goddamn was it one of the first, and the most popular to be honest. People would literally get their artwork and do those tribute edits where it's a slideshow of all their art. This has 124K views. I made one of those videos too. It wasn't Pole Bear, but it was a random assortment of pictures I found on the internet and credited no one. This video will never see the light of day. It's serving a life sentence for being cringe. No one knows what happened to Pole Bear, and I'm convinced there's no evidence Pole Bear was a sentient human. There is no traces of this person on the internet outside of their art. It might be one of the fandom's biggest mysteries. But enough about artists, let's talk about animation. Kind of like today's sponsor, my retention rate. I make 5-minute videos and you guys can't even watch those. Is your attention span that cooked, or am I just boring? Probably both, but don't worry, I got you covered. Here, have some Minecraft parkour on the screen. We're about to hit that 5-minute mark and I got a lot more to talk about. But yeah, animations. The animations are kind of wacky if I'm being honest, because 8 years ago Newgrounds was still relevant and a lot of Newgrounds animators were going wild in their FNAF animations. You know that one animation where Trevor from GTA 5 was giving Chica some devious backshots? That was like a trend for some reason. A lot of FNAF animations had sexual undertones to them. Like that one Freddy's and Friends animation. Twisted Grims was literally just porn. Dead ass. But past that were some genuinely funny and iconic relics of FNAF fandom lore. I'm not gonna go through all of them because I'm a lazy fuck. Because it's a lot and I like to keep my videos short out of fear of spending time on a 20-minute video and it flopping. But I put some up on the screen while we talk as B-roll. Don't worry, the Minecraft parkour will come back. Just look at the funny Pie Mansions animation. Honestly, for a naive child with unsupervised internet access, this was peak content. I kinda miss it low-key because everything is so serious and boring now. Yes, I love me some FNAF VHS, but guess what?
You are a pirate. Your heart will be need.
Oh my goodness, where to even start with the old school FNAF SFMs? These models alone are more iconic than me or you will ever be. FNAF had its own era in SFM. Suddenly this game about wacky animatronics became this empty vessel for source filmmaker animators and Gmod enjoyers. Like, do you remember the Draw Kill animatronics? The Bonnie Weaver model? And least importantly, those animatronics. Crazy stuff, man. Then we got old school FNAF fan games, some of which are still relevant today. Back then there was two tiers of FNAF fan games, stuff that was clearly just IP with FNAF gameplay, or original idea that was genuinely trying to be a better version of FNAF. Some examples of the latter still exist today. Pop Goes, Joy of Creation, Jolly, just to name a few, and some were lost, like Those Nights at Rachel's, Five Nights at Fuckboys, and Five Nights in Anime. God help us all. Then as for the former, we got stuff like Five Nights at Treasure Islands, Five Nights at the Chum Bucket, and Five Nights at Wario's. These games' walks to the Fazbear Fan Initiative could crash and burn. People would literally whip together a quick fan gaming click team and really say it's nothing too crazy, just something I did for fun. And it'd be the most terrifying thing a child with unsupervised internet access could see. These fan games, despite being rough around the edges, had a charm to them. It was literally a start of such a booming part of the FNAF community. Fan games only got better as time went on. Sometimes. And as long as Markiplier played them, they would only get more popular.
Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where we're
Music. This is really the one that started it all, and as much as I like to play it for you, the Living Tombstone has become a sellout. This video will get copyrighted, but the FNAF song is the one that started it all because it's a catchy tune. How do people review music, man? Like, what can I say? It slapped, and the lyrics actually incorporate the lore. This singular song kickstarted an entire genre. He single-handedly breathed life. Breathed. This singular song kickstarted an entire genre. He single-handedly breathed life into the fandom by creating a whole other meta. Suddenly, the only facets of fandom-made content weren't just Let's Plays and theories, but they were now also music. Living Tombstone made one for every game since one, almost, and a bunch of other YouTubers followed in his footsteps. DA Games, JT Music, Lando Pony, Nate Wants to Battle. It was like Minecraft parodies all over again, but actual songs. But it was the Living Tombstone who himself slowed down the popularity of FNAF songs. Unintentional. Like stated, he was making songs for every game, and the fatigue kind of set in once 4 dropped. Everyone was expecting him to make FNAF songs, and he hated it. FNAF 4 was really a song about how much he was tired of the fandom. He did make a FNAF 5 song, but that marked the last FNAF song he did for a while, and it seemed everyone else took a break as well. Because by that time, fatigue was in full effect. FNAF wasn't the biggest thing on the block anymore, it was Undertale, Bendy and the Ink Machine, and Hello Neighbor to an extent. It's so unfortunate FNAF songs aren't as popular as they were, and just fandom-made songs in general, because people were making some genuine bops singing about wacky animatronics jujuing on that beat. It wasn't restricted to a certain genre either. There are no two FNAF songs that sound the same. You can't compare Mangled to Stay Calm. It's Been So Long to Join Us for a Bite, the Bunny song to Break My Mind, and I would be wrong not to mention the FNAF musical. You know how people want all these YouTubers to be in the FNAF movie? Well, the FNAF movie already happened, and Markiplier and MatPat were the main stars. This was peak FNAF fandom, man. The songs were bops, the writing was solid, the set production was crazy, they had a star cast. Having Markiplier and MatPat in the same video back then is like having Chris Pratt and Tom Holland in the same movie. It still holds up today too, even the childish comedy is still chuckle-worthy. If you haven't seen the FNAF musical and you proclaim yourself to be a FNAF fan, you are legally obligated to tell me your mother's credit card number. No, but seriously, you should watch it, and you should watch everything in the description because a time capsule is ready for you underneath this video. I don't want to sound like a boomer, but the Wild West of the FNAF fandom was so great. A relic of a more passionate time, honestly. A lot of what we have now is amazing, new creators, new content, and new lore. But what made the past so special was just how fun the community was to be a part of and spectate because drama was far and few, for the most part. And much like the Wild West, people were allowed to express just what they felt about FNAF unchecked, because God knows we can't have an opinion about this franchise nowadays. Maybe we grew up, became more mature, and now it's time to let the new FNAF fans take over. The Wild West of outlaws may have been just that on the surface, but in reality it was a community of likewise individuals trying to take a slice of the pie of the indie horror phenomenon known as Scott Cawthon's Five Nights at Freddy's. But I have one thing to say about that.
You are a pirate. You're hard fitted indeed. Being a pirate is a wretched thing. What you want 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You are.
Hey man, you sticking around this time, kitty? Thanks for watching the video. If I could, I would hug you, and if I were Mr. Beast, you would be getting yourself a small fortune. But I just want to talk about a couple things before we fade to black in my Fortnite outro plays. I just want to thank everyone, people who like me, people who hate me, people who are MKG neutral, for actually spending time to watch the videos in the first place. I know I nagged about my poor retention rate, but just the fact you even clicked on the video is good enough for me. And to my awesome subscribers, some of them from FNAF and some of them from Apex Legends, thank you for giving me a chance. I want to go far with this. I wasn't kidding about my family seeing me as a loser, so help me prove them wrong. I don't ask for much, but for once, I will do the call for action. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you did not, stick around for more. Let me earn that subscription. I promise. I'll try my hardest. But anyways, see you next time.